A year ago I bought a new mountain bike. I didn't buy an e-bike, not because I don't like them. I just didn't want an electric motor on my bike. I already had a motorbike. I loved my new MTB, started clearing old trails in the forest, learning new stuff and getting right into it. Then some friends came around with this weird electric motocross bike called a sur-ron or a sur-ron or a sur-ron or something. And all it took was one ride around the house to realise that this futuristic next generation machine was a stupid underpowered overpriced kid's toy. I didn't want to ride one again. I definitely wasn't going to buy one. And man did I laugh when my mate missed a corner and sank his brand new sur-ron in the pond. Next weekend I got back from a mountain bike ride and my mates were there again and the sur-rons had multiplied. Hey, they said, you know that single track you just rode down on your mountain bike? Grab a sur-ron and let's ride up it. And all it took was one ride up the mountain to realise that this futuristic next generation machine was actually bloody brilliant. I couldn't wait to ride one again. I definitely needed to buy one. And yeah, I was glad my mate's machine had survived its swim in the pond. So for anyone wondering what these small electric motocross bikes are all about, whether it's the sur-ron or one of the similar brands, here are some thoughts from a new sur-ron addict. It's not a technical review of the bike, because I don't know much about the technicals. It's just me trying to explain what it's like to ride these bikes and why it feels like it's opened up a whole new sport for me. If calling it a whole new sport seems like an exaggeration, well, yeah, maybe, probably. But seriously, when I rode that thing up the trails that until now I'd only ridden down on my MTB, it instantly changed my perception of what was possible. Up, down, sideways. Ripping up the single track on the sur-ron was unbelievably good fun. Rather than rave on randomly, I'm going to try and put a few thoughts in order about the sur-ron.
Cool.
Note, size, power, weight, speed, sound. Basically all the things that come together in just a brilliantly convincing package that's impossible not to enjoy. Impossible not to enjoy, unless you only ride it around your house once. Some people ride the sur-ron and think they're too small, but to me the small size is a feature, not a bug. It's basically got the same wheelbase as my mountain bike, and you can use mountain bike parts all over the sur-ron. So the small size and relatively moderate power is what makes them so accessible to everyone, like Mazda Miata, you know, which everyone takes on the racetrack because you can just max them out and not get in trouble. So the small size also makes them incredibly easy to transport, whether on the back of a K-truck or in a van or a tiny passenger car, they fit. And there's little things like how easy it is to use the throttle to load the bike. These are the kind of features of a battery bike that you only find out when you get one. There's nothing massive, but you realize that these little benefits add up to something you really like. Same as plugging it in instead of filling it up at night. It's just simple and clean, and you think, yeah, this is good. The sur-ron I've got is about 3 times the weight of my mountain bike, but only half the weight of my KX250. And that makes a big difference to how you feel about throwing the bike around, just because the consequences of screwing up or crashing are much lower. Obviously the KX was a good motorbike, but it always felt like I was trying to learn something really difficult and dangerous, despite having ridden a road bike and mountain bikes most of my life. So when I got on the sur-ron and first blasted up that hill, it felt like a natural extension of mountain biking, and I loved not having 100 kilograms about to drop on my leg. So maybe I haven't explained this very well, but the sur-ron removes barriers, and before you know it, you're actually doing pretty hard stuff in a way you probably wouldn't try on a full-size motocross bike. For me, the absolute best thing about the sur-ron is where you can ride it. It has totally changed my attitude to summer. We've got a forested mountain out the back of our house, and it used to be fun riding quad bikes and trail bikes on the forestry roads, but we were limited to the roads already there. Now on the sur-ron, we're making fresh tracks basically every time we ride because we can go almost anywhere. It's like, hey, look at that ridge, let's go ride it. So you clear a couple of fallen trees. Oh, that's that devil sharp one. Little fuck. And just like that, an epic new trail opens up. And if you try somewhere new and get stuck or crash or fall down a bank, or it's a dead end, no big deal. You just pick it up or do a wheelie turn or a mini endo or walk beside it. You can try anything and ride anywhere. I know there are some amazing urban riders out there. Shut up, dog. What was I talking about? Amazing urban riders doing wheelies and tricks, and you can also have great fun on a motocross track, but I reckon the Surron is made for forest riding. It's not about power and top speed, it's all about momentum and balance. Like I said, you don't even need a track. You can basically aim at anything in the forest and have a go at it. Honestly, it's the only motorsport for me that comes even close to backcountry snowmobiling, with the freedom you get to point your machine at anything that looks interesting. And when you ride the Surron in tight terrain, just like riding trees on a sled, it becomes so vivid and intense. Plus, like snowmobiling, there's an endless skill progression because this is a balance sport, and balance sports always push and engage you the most. So quad bikes are fun, hard to beat a wailing banshee, but to me now, 4 wheels feels two-dimensional, while 2 wheels feels four-dimensional, if you get what I mean. At first I found riding a quiet trail bike really weird. I mean, you can ride along and have conversation with your friends and point out features and laugh at stuff while you go. And you'll never forget the first time you hear someone fart loudly while clearing an obstacle on a Surron. Actually, that came out wrong, didn't it? Clearing an obstacle with a fart. But anyway, in no time at all, it seems normal, and the sound, or the lack of sound, is partly what makes it seem like a brand new sport. In the hills around here, we don't get a ton of people, and there seems to be no one around at night. But on the weekends, there are hikers and bird watchers and hunters, and because the Surron is so quiet, we can all get along. The dogs like it, the kids like it, we all like it. The noisiest thing on the Surron, apart from the person farting in my pants, is the horn. And what I really like about the horn is you often hit it with your knee, so it gives off random beeps while you're riding. And it also, you tend to hit it when someone crashes. So you get to hear the thump of your mate wiping out, underlined with a horn blast to make sure that everyone knows what's happening. Never thought I'd enjoy something so trivial about the Surron, but it's one of those unexpected things that just adds character to what you think might not have character because it hasn't got an exhaust pipe. Before I wind up this outright fanboy session, I better talk a little bit about aftermarket mods. People are hotting these machines up, switching out controllers and batteries and making them fast. Good on them. And you can definitely make these machines go stinking fast and get much more power. But the thing is, you can also ride them straight out of the box and have a great time. You don't need to do anything. And well, although you don't need to do anything, there are a couple of things that we found are worth doing. So far, the main things we've done are replace the drive bearing, because the original is just really poor quality for some reason. Fit a foot peg brace. Change the rear tyre to something better on mud and roots, which makes a massive difference. You can compare side by side on the same trail and it's night and day. And we have fitted handguards, braced the rear mudguard, removed the ugly graphics of course, and fitted riser bars so you can stand up naturally if you're a bit taller. I found fitting taller handlebars to be a total game changer, because before I never used to want to stand up because I had to be crouched over. Now I'm standing up all the time and I can ride much better. Oh, one other tiny thing you might want to think about is tying on your key, because if the key's in the off position, it flicks out really easily, and a couple of us have lost it on the trail, and you know, when you're just pushing it down without the key on for some reason. So yeah, tie it on. So that's it for me. I'm done with mods. The only other thing I need is a stronger skid plate. And that right there is a lie, by the way, because I tried a Gruntier battery the other day, and that was damn good. And, well, we all know how these things escalate, so probably mods galore forever. But the point is, you can just buy it and ride it. Well, that's my take on the Surron. I went from cynic to sucker in 2 minutes, and what we've been finding is that anyone who comes riding with us to try one out gets instantly hooked and sells whatever they have to sell so they can buy one of these. I still can't quite believe that I finally found a new toy that gives me the all-day highs in summer that I used to only get riding snowmobiles in winter. So, if you got the cash and the terrain, you got to try one of these. They're awesome fun and a great way to hang out with friends.
すげえ楽しいよ